Hello, everyone. What's up, YouTubers? Prof Sales here, Friday, September 30th. What a day. Let's check our sound. Make sure we're good. Should be coming on here any second. September 30th. Yep, sounds great. All right, so we are off and running. All right, so today is September 30th, the last day of September. And it's also the start of most people's the fourth quarter. Dun, dun, dun. For those of you who don't know, the fourth quarter just means the fourth quarter of the year. You know, you break up the year into 4 3-month periods. And this one usually is, for most people, the calendar year, October, November, December. It's the biggest selling quarter of the 4. So when you hear people talk about the fourth quarter and reselling or retail, this is the time of year they are talking about. And tomorrow starts the fourth quarter officially for most people. And it's marked by usually a dramatic upswing in sales. People getting the Christmas spirit, holiday season giving mindset, and they just start wanting to spend money, which is good news for us as resellers. So you can make some huge sales. When I was in retail sales many years ago, we would do 40% of our business in the fourth quarter. And our fourth quarter was strange because it ran from November 1st to January, what is it, 28th, whatever it is, 30th. And that was our fourth quarter. And January sucks. So, and that's the reason they did it that way. So we did 40% of our business basically within those 3 months. You might see similar sales in reselling. You might do 40% of your business in the next 3 months. It's very possible. So this is the time to get it done. This is the time to go after it. This is the time to be prepared. This is the time to stack it high and let it fly, as we used to say in retail. And just get those listings done, get those items out the door, get those items that you've been putting off doing, get them photographed and up, and let's get it sold, guys, because now's the time when people start buying. It's not like they'll just turn on a switch tomorrow, but you know, people start thinking about, we've gotten through back to school, fall has already started officially, and the weather's starting to get cooler across most of the nation. Even here in the South, you know, there was definitely, Car and I were talking about today, we felt the wind this morning was a little breeze, and we could just feel like fall on it. You know, the smell changes, something happens with the leaves and so on as they change. You get that fall smell. It's great. And when people do that, guess what they want to do? They want to start thinking about Christmas. Man, Christmas is only probably, what, 10, 11 weekends away? Not that many. So people are already in that mode. So this is the time as a reseller for you to take advantage of it, and let's get rid of our all of our stock that we can in these next 3 months. All right, so a couple shout outs. Fun Stuff's in the room. Crafty as well. Crafty Caregiver and Parrot Head Picker. And Fun says it's feeling a little cooler here in Texas too. Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, today's high here is like 80 maybe. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention. Yeah, 80 degrees, but it feels cooler because the morning was in the mid-50s, which felt a lot cooler. And we're going to hit some highs in the mid-70s coming up in the next week and a half. So, you know, you start thinking about that, like that's cooler in the morning. People wake up and go to work. They're like, oh, it's cooler. Guess what? I need to buy some jeans. I need to buy a jacket. I need to buy some long sleeve shirts. I need to get rid of my old wardrobe from last year and start, you know, reloading with new stuff. And new stuff doesn't necessarily mean new clothes, it just means new clothes for that person. So yeah, it's definitely the time of year, guys. Fourth quarter's here. Let's make it happen. All right. Crafty says just listed 3 items and all 3 sold within 30 minutes. Isn't that an awesome feeling? You just hear that ching, 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 and they're just gone, right? I love that. I love that feeling. When you list something and 10 minutes later, it's just done. So congrats. That's very cool. 15 people watching already. Thank you guys for that. As always, if you like what you're hearing, smash the like button, as Rakin likes to say. All right, so getting ready to pull the trigger and sign up. I'm not sure what that means. Mighty Spouse. Mighty Spouse is kind of a funny name. I like it. Mighty Spouse is getting ready to pull the trigger, but I'm not sure what they're pulling the trigger on. So if you could let us know, that'd be cool. And yeah, people congratulating the sales there for Crafty. Yeah, that is cool. What else is going on? All right, so I talked to you guys yesterday and put out a video about the sourcing guidelines that eBay has put out. And I got tons of response to it, but the overwhelming majority of the responses were, hey, I can't find this. I don't have this. Well, for whatever reason, it was showing in my seller hub in the morning, and now it's no longer showing there. However, if you want to find your sourcing guidelines, check under growth opportunities on your eBay account and see if there's not a link there to sourcing. And I bet that's where you will find it now. It looks like that's where they moved it to officially. I still don't know if everybody has it or not. I still had it today, and it's great. But if you don't have it yet, you'll probably get it. I mean, eBay does it sometimes. Sometimes they roll it out in weird times like that. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But if you want to find that sourcing growth opportunities, the sourcing guidelines, go to your eBay Seller Hub, go to growth opportunities, and scroll down and see if you don't see a sourcing link. And that's where you will find it now. It looks like it's been moved to there officially. So sorry for any confusion yesterday. I'm not really sure why I had it in one place. No one else seemed to have it there. But I did have it, and I still have it. And I will definitely use it. So check that out, and maybe you will have it there as too. All right, so Karen and I, we've been really doing some listing and photography today. She's taken a bunch of pictures. It's going to be our best month yet in terms of number of items listed, as well as number of items photographed, as well as number of items sourced. However, I will say that we still have a long way to go. And we were already talking about, what can we really do in a week or in a month? And, that's kind of tricky to figure out. It comes down to a couple factors. One, you have to have enough supply, enough items to source. Two, you have to have enough capital to source them. And three, you have to have the ability to process them and get them listed. If any of those three areas are deficient, then you are going to have, lesser results. So we've got to try to figure out what that formula looks like in terms of getting enough supply, being able to sink the capital into it, and then getting it photographed and listed. We think we can do as many as 150 listings per week and basically 600 listings per month. Now, I'm going to be selling items as I'm doing this, and the more you list, obviously the more you sell, because, if you have more items, just whatever your sell-through percentage is, you start selling more and more as well. So then you have to buy even more and list even more, and it's like a vicious cycle. It's a good problem to have, but we think we can list 600 items in October. That is our kind of our goal we're shooting for. Now, to buy that many requires basically 150 a week we need to get. So we're going to have to be strategic about that. And we definitely want to make sure that we maintain a quality of life around business as well. I think we can do that all in 6 days. Karn is going to be gone a little bit, so we're going to have to be strategic with how we plan that as well. But we've got some plans for doing it. We're going to hit our stores, shortly this coming week. We're going to hit the Raleigh stores in probably a week from Monday. And then I'm not sure where we'll go after that. We may come back to our stores. It'll have been 2 weeks by that point. But we basically need to get 150 jeans every sourcing trip we go out. Or if we don't get that many, Then sometime midweek, we go and pick up a few more. That's basically what it looks like. That would be 600 jeans a month. Then we just need to list 600 jeans. So it's like, all right, so how do you list 600 jeans a month? Well, you break it down into weeks. Well, that's 150 a day, a week, more or less. Well, how do you break that down? Well, you break it down, let's say 5 days. You do 30 a day. So, given those numbers, 30 a day is not that bad to list, guys. I mean, I've already done 21 today, and it's only 2 o'clock. And we've gotten plenty of other things done. Like we went and helped a friend move this morning. We went out and got lunch after we took the packages to the post office. To list 30 jeans a day is not that bad. And we also talked about we were definitely probably going to have times when we both need to photograph, we both need to source, and we both need to list, just kind of depending on what's gotten done. But that's what we're going to break down October. So those are kind of our goals for October. A stretch goal for October would be to buy and list 800 for the month. That's another 200, another 50 a week. I don't know if that's really doable just from a sourcing standpoint. Getting 150 out of a location, out of an area, is not that crazy, but getting 200 out of it, just even an extra 50, is a challenge. Because that requires going to, 200 would require going to about 17 stores in an area. 17 stores is quite a few. There aren't many areas that have 17 stores where you can pull out 12 jeans each. So, almost 18 stores actually. Not sure that 800 is really that doable right now. So we definitely think we can do 600. So that's going to be our goal for October. It's doable. It's manageable. We know the math behind it. We know the metrics. We know how many places to go. We're going to need to go to. Pretty much, we're getting just over 12 a store. So you figure that's about eight stores for every 100. So we need to hit 16 stores a week, basically. Not impossible at all. So we'll see how that goes. All right, there's a couple questions or something in the feed. Krillin says, hey, Prof, do you know if some recent jeans are women's or men's slim fit? Is there a database that's codes you can punch in? Krillin, there might be. You definitely can put in the RN number and it'll tell you brand. You can find that brand a lot of times because that RN number is the brand. But in terms of the code, have on there like style number so-and-so, it's kind of tricky. Like if you put the brand in a Google search and then you put the style number, it might pull you up to the page, but it might not. And the only reason I say that is because some of the manufacturers, for whatever reason, when you search the style number and their name, it doesn't necessarily pull up the fit of the jean. I'm not sure why. I've run into that issue too. The RN number is basically on the tag. I'll see if I can show you one. Pretty much any jean is going to have that. Let's see. I'm not sure. Let's try it on this one because it'll be a little bigger. I'm not sure if I can show you. And of course, I'm not finding any that have an RN number easily identifiable. Of course, when I need to find one, I can't find one. When I don't care about them, they're all over the place. I think I'm making sure I understand your question here is like what type of jean it is. Let's see. Here's a pair of Levi's. Yeah, I'm not having any luck finding that have an RN number. That's very visible. Usually sometimes they will say RN number on them. It's usually like a 6-digit number, somewhere around there. But men's and women's, I've talked about how to figure that out on a couple other videos. Yeah, somebody at Crafty saying they have a shorter zipper. They also have shallower pockets. They also will tend to be stretch where men's are not. That's not always true. The pockets is a great giveaway though. The pockets will be very shallow usually in women, especially the right front pocket. If you're a man, you might only get like half your hand in that pocket. So that's usually a good giveaway. The way they're sized is also a giveaway for men's and women's. Women's typically will be just a number, where men's might be the inseam and waist. All those reasons, but you can check that. Let's see. Women's have those awful tiny pockets. Yeah, Susanna says, why do women need a shorter zipper? That's a great question, Silver Hair. I have no idea. Percentage-wise of women's are most going by dress sizes or waist size. Oh, man. That's a great question, Krillin, but I would say to you that it really just depends. I mean, every brand is different. Like, gosh, I hate to even say that. You know, women's jean sizing is all over the place. I mean, it just really depends on the manufacturer. I wish I could give you a blanket answer to that and say, oh, it's this. Typically, it's not going to be waist and inseam for women's. Typically, it's just going to be one number, typically. But that's not always the case. And there's plenty of brands like, say, Lucky Brand. You know, it'll put 8/29. It's showing you size 8, 29-inch waist. Could a man wear that? Sure. Of course they could. So it's just tricky. I guess if you're really in doubt, this is what I do. If I'm really in doubt, like let's say these Chico jeans that I have here that I'm getting ready to list next, they are a So Slimming size 1. So I would put in there, I would Google search Chico So Slimming. And more than likely, it's going to come up with a page of results like for sale. And especially if it comes up from the Chico website, if they're all women's, chances are it's women's. So by putting in the fit, usually you're going to know what type of jean it is, men's or women's. Usually, not always, but usually. Let's see what the other question is. Older, junior, even number, women's. Odd junior, even number women's. Yeah, Turtle, except, you know, I don't think Vigos are like that. I think and Chico's, you know, has a weird system too. They'll do like 1, 1.5. You know, but odd usually is juniors. That is true. That is true. It would be nice if all the jeans manufacturers could get together and figure out one system, but that ain't gonna happen. So we might as well put that idea to bed because it's just not going to happen. But yeah, figuring out if they're men's or women's is, when in doubt, it's probably women's. Let's see. Krillin says the problem is when you see size 32. Yeah, and that's where you go with the pockets, the zipper. You can look at the type of material it is, if it's stretch or not. You can type in the fit and type in the brand name, and that may pull up, you know, whether it's men's or women's as well. Worst case, you could put a unisex. I don't like doing that, especially with jeans. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, you could do that. So let's see what else. All right. So yesterday also, I think I might have mentioned this, but we finally got our inventory room completely set up, and I'm really excited about it because we got all of our 5-level shelves set up, and basically that gives us in that room, we have 6 of them, basically that gives us in that room the ability to store 1,080 pair of jeans. So I'm probably going to do another little quick video on that, just like what that'll make it look, what that'll look like, and so on. But I'm really excited about it. Like you know, it'll be nice to max out that room. The cool thing about what I'm listing too, because I usually list in stacks of 6, and there's 6 on each shelf, I can just, you know, do the next 6 in a row and do 36 jeans and say all these go right here and just fill a whole shelf each day as I list. So I'm pretty excited about that. 1,080 jeans. We won't be that. We're not that far away from it. We got a little ways to go, obviously, but not that far. And after we get done with that room in terms of all the jeans, you know, in terms of inventory, I don't know what we're gonna do. We've got one pair of shelves that are outside of the room, kind of in a little not a loft area, but just like a little open area outside the bedrooms. But I don't, that's not a long-term solution. That would only be another 150, 180 anyway. You know, so once we get past 1,000 or basically 1,100, I'm not sure what we're going to do. We're going to have to figure out something. All right, so lots of questions here. You guys are answering some of them. So all 2-digit 7 for all mankind are men's? No, they're usually women's. I've told you, Krillin, it's very confusing. I mean, it's just the way you'll know 7 for all mankind is 7 for all mankind has a different design on the back pocket of men's. I don't know if I've got one here. I could show you. I don't. But they have a different design on the men's, and the women's 7 for all mankind, there's lots of different designs. The dojo or the A pockets or just the regular run-of-the-mill ones. But man, it's just tricky. You know, so I wish I could tell you there's just like these hard, fast rules on this stuff, but there just isn't. I mean, every brand is a little different in the way they size and the way they measure. I mean, it's just really weird. Yeah, Twisted saying the women's back pockets are smaller and Rogers are shorter. Yeah, and that's it, you know. But if you don't really know, like without looking at it, it's kind of tricky to figure that out. So, but in general, when pockets are shallower and smaller, they're usually going to be women's. There might be an exception to that rule somewhere, but I don't know. But in general, that's what it's going to be. So, okay. All right. So anyway, let me share some results here, guys. Since we got about 29 people watching. Thank you guys for that. I would appreciate if you'd smash the like button. Don't hurt your computer or your phone or wherever you're watching on. But I do appreciate it. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. So please hit the like button. And let me go over to some Excel here. And I will show you how I did yesterday. It's almost the end of the month and some kind of cool news about that. All right, so you can see yesterday was the 29th. 11 pair of jeans sold yesterday. Another great day, double digits. I love all these double digit days I've been having lately. We got 30 photos done and 24 listed, so that's great. Going to be more than that today. $271 day, very, very strong. 1.46% sell-through, love that number as well. And net per jean was 1020, which is great. That's above my goal of 10. So cannot complain there. Jeans for the month. All right, guys, here's where it gets interesting. We are almost at $5,000 on the month just in jeans. Just in jeans. So I've had a lot of people telling me over the last couple months or so since I started this jean challenge, why don't you sell this? Why don't you sell that? Oh, I could never do this. I get all that, and I get all the reasons, but I've decided to do it this way, and I'm telling you guys, you can pick a niche, common item that has a good sell-through and makes some decent profit, and you've got a great supply, and you can make a good amount of sales and income with it. $5,000 gross, net of $1,967 so far, so almost $2,000 there. I've got some jean sales today, so I think I'm going to hit over that 5K number in just jeans. How many jeans is that? Well, we've had to list 326, and we've sold 203, so also great numbers there. It looks like I'm going to end up selling about 7.1 per day this month. My listing total average is up over 100, but I need to really just keep blowing that number up. Got a long way to go there. But still very excited about the results. Here's the graph. If I can go to that, it takes a moment for it to load. Listings up. Sell-through is right at that 1% number, which is awesome. That's right where I thought I would be. If you guys remember back in July when we started, I told you, hey, when cold weather hits, we're going to sell 1% of our stock or more. Sold. Great slope on this line, just accelerating. Hopefully it'll just keep on going for a while longer than just level off at a high level. Listed also doing well. And gross per day, very, very close to that $200 per day average. You can see the trend line is right at it. If you can see that point right there. So basically, I'm able to sell jeans and sell almost, you know, $200 a day or $6,000 a month just in jeans is the trend. I'm not going to do 6,000 this month, but you can see what the trend is heading up towards. So, you know, great numbers. I'm really happy with them. No complaints whatsoever. You know, again, guys, I go back to, I've had so many naysayers that have just said, don't sell jeans, go sell other things, blah, blah, blah. And I get all that. But I was talking with Ronnie today, and, you know, he was telling me about his thoughts on it. And I respect the hell out of Ronnie and his opinions. I mean, he has a great track record in reselling clothing and so on. And I would never dispute, you know, his results and the way he runs his business, because I think he does it really in a very smart way, given where he lives and what his goals are and so on. But I told him that the part of the reason I chose jeans was not only was I had a lot of supply at a cheap price around me, but guys, here's the thing. I know that 99.8% of all the jeans I sell are going to go in this. I don't have to think about shipping. I know that if I take 5 to 6 photos of a pair of jeans, that's all I need to do. I know that if I can list certain item specifics, it's going to sell. I know that it's going to fit on the shelves that I have and how many I can put on each one. I mean, I have figured out all these stupid things. I've made every mistake you can possibly make. And now I'm in a position where I just need to scale. I just need to scale it up to the level where I'm going to feel comfortable. I mean, there's great value in that. But if you take a scattershot approach to reselling, you're never going to have all those things in your back pocket. Like I was talking about today, like how much time is spent on reseller Facebook groups and so on, where people are asking questions about shipping. I'm going, are you in business to sell things or ship things? Do you need to be spending all this time wondering how to wrap up, you know, a glass chandelier or some nonsense like that? You know, that doesn't interest me, guys. Like, I don't want to think about it that hard. I don't want it to be that hard. I don't want to have to be an expert on 150 different brands of shirt. You know, it just, again, nothing against anyone who's doing that. That is absolutely a viable way, and you can make great margin. You will make better margin on all those things than you will make on jeans. No question about it. I would never argue differently. I'm just saying, for me, I wanted a simpler business, one that I know and one that I could figure out really quickly and that I could just replicate. You know, the way you succeed in business, guys, is to have a business that becomes scalable to a certain level. And eventually there's bottlenecks you have to address. But, you know, why are the Wendy's and Burger Kings and KFCs of the world, Taco Bell, why are they successful? Because they're trying to sell every type of food out there? No, they found their niche and they go after it and they own it. Why, you know, why is any company successful? I mean, it just seems to me that so many resellers want to be like basically a big box discount store and sell everything. You can do that. You can make some money at that, but you can't scale it. You can't scale it because you can't get enough supply. That doodad that you found at Joe's yard sale that he sold you for $5, you sell for $100, great, no problem. But you can't keep going back to Joe every week. You're gonna have to find another Joe and another Joe and another Joe and another Joe. And you're just gonna have to keep doing that week after week after week. That does not interest me. I know that I can walk into my stores, my area or another area, and I know what brands I need. I know what brands will sell. I know what sizes I want. I don't have to go in there and relearn it every day and come up with this whole new system of selling and come up with this whole new paradigm and always be on the lookout for things. That doesn't interest me. Some people love that thrill of the hunt, and that's great. They should do it then. That's awesome. I would, you know, fully support them in that. It's just not for me. So anyway, all right, that's the end of my rant. Was that a rant? I don't know if that was really a rant. It might have been. Let's see. I probably missed some questions here, guys. My apologies, and some comments, and I'm going to try to scroll up and catch these. All right, let's see what we have here. Some lighting kit stuff. Cowboy Studio makes some good light kits. You can get some, I think, that are just one set of bulbs like that. King says, I think people are just saying you're going to work really hard and could be making more money with the same effort. I disagree, King, because I'm going to have to go make a tremendous mental effort to learn and educate myself on all these other brands. I'm going to be looking stuff up left and right, and it doesn't interest me. And plus, I have some other reasons for doing this that one day I'm going to share with all you guys, but not quite yet. So I will share that at some point. Thanks for the comment, Parrot Head. I appreciate that. Let's see. Are those shells from Harbor Freight? Nope, they are from Lowe's. Is it Lowe's or Home Depot? I think they both sell them. They're Blue Hawk is the name. They're cheap. I don't know. Harbor Freight might have them too. Okay. I like how you make it sound simple. You still have to do the work. Yep. Better Barbie, you absolutely have to do the work. I don't care what type of reselling you're doing. You're going to have to do the work, whether it's the mental work to research things, whether it's the getting out there and trying to listen things and find them, or just replicating a simpler business model like I have. Whatever it is, you're going to have to work. Never, ever would say anything different. Thanks for the compliments, Suzanne. I appreciate it. I say let Karin do the other niches. You hear that, Karin?
Working on it.
She's working on Yvonne. Rant made sense to me. Thanks, Jen. Let's see. Question, what's the difference between distressed and destroyed? I've seen people put damage in the listing. That's a great question, Better Barbie. And it might even be that the difference is kind of in the eye of the beholder. I mean, if you've got, typically when you think of distress, they go in, I'm going to see if I can find one. Yeah, here's a pair of big stars, which I'm going to see if you guys can, let me see if I can, let me make sure you can see this in the camera. All right, so if you see that mark right there, that's an example of distressing, where they go in and they basically manipulate the fabric to make it look like they cut it, basically. But it's not cut through. It's not a hole. There's not a hole in this pocket, right? Let me see if there's some more examples of it. And that's really the only one oh, wait, here's one. You can see this one. You can kind of tell, too, that that's a manufacturer's mark, how it's nice and neat and tidy. And you can see probably right there how it's getting kind of thin. Now, once that starts getting holes in it and so on, you start moving more into the destroyed look, especially if it's got big holes and big chunks of it missing. What does that mean exactly for most people? You know, that's a great question. Because I'm going to tell you something. The plain and simple truth is most, make sure I get these back together right. You guys are going to make me mess up my system. A lot of buyers are not really going to necessarily know the difference. And it's kind of, I mean, you see eBayers put on there all kinds of conditions. So, you know, we've talked about this before. People put on there good used, excellent used. That doesn't really mean anything. That's all in the eye of the beholder. So you got to be careful with those types of words. So destroyed, if you know for a fact that it's destroyed, I'd put that, but otherwise I wouldn't. Because what you say is destroyed, most people are just going to say, that looks like a hole to me. That doesn't look destroyed. And you're going to get negative comments. You're going to get possibly negative feedback. if you don't disclose every little hole on that pair of jeans with a photograph. So I'd be careful about saying destroyed. I'd be even more careful about selling a pair of jeans with a lot of holes in them. I've seen plenty of cool looking jeans before that were great sizes and great brands and great fits, but man, they had so many holes in them, and I couldn't tell if they were from the manufacturer or that's the way that the person wore them and they just got worn out. It's kind of hard sometimes in certain cases. So I would err on the side of caution there and not, unless it's a really great brand name and it's known for that look, I would not sell one with a lot of holes in or one that could possibly be destroyed in the look. I just think you're setting yourself up for kind of a tricky situation there. People have different opinions about that. Susanna says, if you have a pair of Levi 501s that are great except for one hole, should you list it with a disclaimer or not list it? One hole to me is a flaw, but some folks like lots of them. I would absolutely list that one, Susanna, and I would disclose the hole. I would say, and what you can do is you can put something beside the hole that shows the size of it in the photograph, a common item that people know, and put that beside the hole, and that way they can see the size of the hole. And put in your description, say, hole, has hole in back pocket, see photograph for description. There you go. I'd absolutely list 501s with a hole, as long as it wasn't crazy. You're very welcome, Barbie. Thank you for that. That's the problem with distressing. It can be tough to tell. Agreed, fun stuff. It can be tough to tell, so I just don't mess with it too much. Krillin says, how familiar are you with Armani jeans? I picked a pair with the label on the back was different than the ones I saw on eBay. That could be, Krillin, especially when you're dealing with older jeans. I mean, jean manufacturers do change labels. There's a great forum called authenticforum.com. authenticforum.com. I'm going to type that in the chat as well. I think that's the website. I had to think about it a minute. And they can help you with trying to authenticate a pair of jeans. I'm not super familiar with Armani jeans, so I'm probably not the best person to go to. But when in doubt, don't list it or don't buy it if you think there's any doubt about it. Have you ever got a weird question? I got one where a customer asked, what is size laying down? I get weird questions all the time, Crafty. Today, they weren't really that weird, but they wanted to see the color better, so they asked for a photo of the front and the back completely laid out. I mean, I don't know if that can, color is such a weird thing for people because it depends on what you're viewing it on. It depends on the light that the photograph was taken with, what type of camera, and it depends on your eyes versus mine. You know, so, but yeah, we took photos and sent them to them, but I don't know. People ask all kinds of weird things, but nothing too crazy, I guess. Mainly it's around sizing and color and things like that, flaws. Yeah, authenticforum.com. I think that was it. Let me make sure that's right. Let me just type that in real quick. Authentic Forum. Yeah, that's the one. So it's a great jean forum, and they mainly focus on a few brands, but any question you have, you could do there. They've got whole sections devoted to Diesel, True Religion, Seven, Citizens, Rock and Republic. I'm looking at it right now. Page, Dry Denim, all that good stuff. So cool little forum. I don't go on that often, only if I really need something. I probably should spend more time. There's a lot of good info there if you sell jeans. Fun Stuff says she sees your ball jeans with the keyword shuttle tape. Is anyone familiar with this terminology? Did you try Google searching Francois Marie Gerbald shuttle tape? Like all one phrase? You know, maybe it's some sort of fit. Maybe it's something they did on that particular jean. I would try that, and maybe you did. I'm not familiar with that terminology, but I don't run into those very often. Those, what are they, FMGs, whatever. I think they're FMGs or MFGs. They're MFG. Got it. So took me a minute there. But I don't run into those often. I only have just a few of them from time to time. But Gerbeau, what did I say, Gerbaude? Jeez, it's Friday. Gerbeau makes a lot more sense. It's French, right? So I got asked if they were beige or ecru once. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You get these weird questions about color, guys. I don't know what to tell you on it. Just to take photos, try to make sure the color looks the same from photo to photo. That's important. But even that can be really tricky sometimes. So anyway, just looked over my stuff. Yeah. So 29 people watching, guys. Thanks for that. I do appreciate it. Lots of people on today. Great, these live chats. What else is going on with your business? Great questions today, by the way. Can you put that in a link below? What am I putting in a link below, Mighty Spouse? I'm not sure what you want me to put in there. Gene Spurt, that's a good one. Put that on a shirt. Shell tape's the tape sewn on the outside, I think. Oh, there you go. I have seen that then if that's the case, Crafting. I know exactly what you're talking or what she was talking about. Yeah, color is tricky, guys, because we all see color a little differently, and the human eye can see like millions of colors. So, you know, color variation I might see, you don't see, and vice versa. You know, oh, I did have one funny one the other day. This guy wanted me to send some jeans to Brazil, which I think GSP goes to Brazil, but don't quote me on that. But he asked me if instead of going through GSP, we could put $10 on them and $10 on customs, and it had kind of broken English. And we basically do the whole transaction outside of eBay. You know, we just do it through PayPal outside of eBay so that basically he could pay less to get them shipped to Brazil. And I told him basically no. Basically, I told him, you know, you're going to have to go through GSP. It ships to Brazil. You know, I didn't say it, but I was thinking, I'm not going to sell these to you outside of eBay and jeopardize my entire account because you want to save a few bucks on a pair of jeans. I'm sorry you live in Brazil and I live in America and we're a long ways apart from each other, and shipping this to you is going to be probably as much money for shipping as it is for the jeans, if not more, but that's not really my problem. So, you know, I just decided to not even deal with it and just say, hey, I can't do it other than through GSP. So don't make that mistake, guys. Don't ship anything outside of eBay, especially if somebody messages you through eBay and asks you that. It's probably a legitimate person asking, but man, it wouldn't be impossible to think that, you know, eBay could be looking for people who are trying to circumvent the system and using that as a way to do it. So anyway, GSP was made for shipping to Brazil, period. Glad you didn't throw that pair out the window. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I knew right away I wasn't going to do it, and I didn't want to be mean to the customer. Somebody asked me the other day, I used to put in some of my listings, I would put the cuffs, I would put cuffs and I would put the leg opening. And I put it was like 15 inches. It was not, you know, it was kind of a thinner leg opening, a smaller one. And I put in the search, I said cuffs 15 inches, 15 quote, you know, the quotes. And this person messaged me and said, wait, what does cuffs mean? These don't appear to have cuffs. Can you please explain? And I messaged them back and said, you know, hey, it's a leg opening. So they're like, oh, duh. They totally didn't get it. But in any case, people sometimes don't always know what you mean. And leg opening would have been a little clearer now that I think about it, because technically they didn't have a cuff, I guess, you know, rolled up cuff or what have you. But, you know, people get in their mind what something is and how it works. And, you know, then when you come in and destroy that idea, they don't know what the heck you mean. So anyway. But anyhow, all right, guys. Well, look, that's about all I got for today. I do appreciate you guys coming on. So always a nice chat. I'm going to try to do 2 o'clock on these updates and so on. But, you know, that's kind of going to be the schedule going forward. I don't know how much I'll get on this weekend. We'll see what happens. I'm a little clear. I've got kind of a little bit of few things to do this weekend, but definitely going to have to do a lot of business stuff as well. So should go well, hopefully. But anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Smash that like button before you leave too. I'd appreciate it. 30 people watching, 13 likes already. Appreciate each and every one of you. And leave me a comment down below so that I can answer it or at least respond to it. And as always, subscribe to Prof Sales so that way you can get the newest video when it comes out. You don't have to go looking for it, and you will get these updates about when these come out as well. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm pushing on to 5,000 a day. It's gonna happen. I can feel it. Hope you guys are having a great end of your September as well, and we will get together real soon and talk again. And as always, this is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.